Continuing with the answers for some more multiple choice questions. Which of the following statements applies to alleles? All cells have pairs of each one. They are a type of gene. Only two alleles for a trait can be found in a population. Well, first of all, not all cells have pairs of alleles because gametes have only single alleles of genes. Alleles are types of genes, but in some cases, more than two alleles can be found in populations. When this happens, it is described as multiple alleles. The ABO blood group system in humans is an example of multiple alleles. So with only two being a correct statement, it means that our answer is C, two only. The pedigree chart shows blood types of the parents and the genotype of a child. What are the possible phenotypes of the other children? Well, here you can see that parent A, the male parent, has type A blood, whereas the female parent has type O blood. The fact that they have one son who is type O blood, as shown here with the genotype 2 little i's, then it follows that parent A is heterozygous for type A blood, and the possible genotypes of the children, therefore, would be type O blood or type A blood, with the type A child being heterozygous. So therefore, the answer is A, type A and type O. Coat pattern in mice is controlled by a single pair of alleles. A breeder crossed these two mice both with solid coats, but the offspring showed the presence of spotted coat. This immediately suggests that because coat pattern is controlled by a single pair of alleles, that both parents must be heterozygous for the dominant allele, which explains why the spotted coat, which is recessive, appears in the offspring. So the answer must be spotted mice are homozygous and both parents are heterozygous. Aerobic respiration produces a large yield of ATP because pyruvate, the end product of glycolysis, is able to enter the mitochondrion and participate in the reactions of the Krebs cycle and the electron transport system, ultimately passing hydrogens to oxygen to form water. The answer, therefore, is A, aerobic respiration. None of the other options are valid, for anaerobic respiration yields only a small amount of ATP, and it is confined to the cytoplasm. Which of the following applies to DNA transcription? As DNA is transcribed, a messenger RNA is created. A complementary strand of messenger RNA is created. So it means that 1 is incorrect. This transcription happens in the nucleus, so it means that 3 is also incorrect. But polymerases are certainly required to help catalyze the process of transcription. So it means that C, 2 only, is the correct response. The enzyme amylase acts on starch, and the product of this reaction is maltose. This is the reverse of a condensation reaction, and to reverse a reaction in which water is removed, one needs to add water. And when this is done, the reaction is described as a hydrolysis. The trophic level at which mice are feeding in this picture is the second trophic level, for one must realize that the producer level is classified as a trophic level. So the producers are at the first trophic level, but the mice in feeding on plants are heterotrophic, so therefore they are feeding at the first level and are heterotrophic. Answer A. Here, organism 1, the earthworm, is a detritivore, for it takes in material into its digestive system, whereas organism 2, the fungus, is passing digestive enzymes onto its substrate to help digest materials which are later absorbed into the fungus. This is an example of a saprotroph. So therefore the answer is C, where one is a detritivore and two a saprotroph. Here you can see that the relative absorption is very high in the blue region and in the red region, with very little absorption happening in the green region. In fact, most green light is reflected, hence the green color of chlorophyll. So the absorption spectrum is due to the fact that chlorophyll has maximum absorption in the blue region of the spectrum, with red following close behind. So it is true to say that chlorophyll absorbs more blue light than red light. Here you can see a karyogram, a picture of the chromosomes found in a diploid human cell, the male karyotype. From this karyogram, we can say that homologous chromosomes often carry the same genes. For if we look at the XY pair in this male karyotype, we'll realize that chromosomes are not always the same size. They don't always carry the same genes, for the X and Y are a homologous pair, but they do not carry the same genes. Genes that govern traits like color blindness and hemophilia are not present on the Y chromosome. So the only option would be to select D, that homologous chromosomes often carry the same genes, like these 22 other homologous pairs in the male karyotype.